Hey, what's up guys, it's me again and welcome back to my channel Mayta. Today I am back with a new story. The name of the story is What If Naruto Was Experimented Weapon of Konoha. And yeah guys, it is an unscripted story and my own idea. And before continuing this, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel, and follow me on my Polo Uchiha channel as well if you haven't done so already. And without any further ado, let's begin with our today's story. Our story begins in Konoha Gakure no Sato, a week after the QB attack, as we go towards the Hokage office, where we see Hiruzen Sarutobi was currently standing behind the Hokage desk, faced towards the window glass that was behind him, watching the whole village. The village that was destroyed a week ago and was now under reconstruction, because of the labors that has been sent by the daimyo. A funeral has already been arranged and has went underway, burying those who had died, which were many. And standing behind him were the elders. And they have come here with a proposition regarding the Jinchuriki, which Hiruzen has clarified that he would be raising on his own. Speak. Hiruzen, with all due respect, I know that you are in no mind of state right now to listen to what I have to say, but it is the truth, an honest truth, that we have failed. What do you mean by that? What I mean by that is we have failed to train the Jinchuriki, Kushina, and even Mito-sama. They were already strong and formidable Konoichis. Yes, of course they were, and because of Kushina's negligence and not being trained enough, she has failed to protect us, to hold back the Biju. I know. What are you getting at? We can't make the same mistake with the young one. The same mistake won't be happened because he's a male Jinchuriki Danzo, an infant one, Hiruzen, an infant one. It will give us a lot of opportunities if we turn him into a weapon. He is the legacy of I know whose legacy it is. It was a necessary sacrifice that Minato and Kushina made. A sacrifice so that Konoha could survive, and their child will live up to their legacy if he follows in their footsteps. But with the rightful guidance, of course. And for that I need your help. My help. You are the Hokage of this village, Hiruzen, and the Jinchuriki would listen to your commands. Think about it this way. We can form a perfect Jinchuriki that will make sure that the other villages stay away from us. Why? It has been only a year or so tops since the third Great Shinobi War ended. What makes you think that those other out there would wait a few more months or a year or so before another one begins? That is how the Elemental Nation has been. Each and every 5 or 6 years there has been a Shinobi War. Heck, you have been into 2 of them with us. You should know better. This is for the best, Hiruzen. What Minato and Kushina did was a noble sacrifice. And same could be said for their child. He's just an infant kid. Think about it, Hiruzen. Some sacrifices are necessary to make for the betterment of all. Are you going to choose one child over the rest of the population who was suffered, who stood by you, listened to you, and obeyed you? Hiruzen was persuaded as he twitched and looked down. You're right. They have stood by me. Even when Minato died and I took the position, nobody argued. See? They trust you. So why can't you trust them? Why can't you trust us? I trust you, it's just Minato and Kushina's dying wish was to make their son a hero. He will be considered one if he is trained properly. And you know that training needs to begin now. What? How? Give that child to me. You can observe, but not intervene, Hiruzen. And you can also influence his life as much as you want. Fine. But I want results. Good ones. You will. And so, Danzo was able to take that child. And now we have a time skip of an hour later, where we see Hiruzen was working in his office and Danzo and the others with the child had arrived inside his base. Your plan worked, Danzo. Yes, it did. Now, the project Weapon of Konoha can begin. Are you sure about this? Giving Hiruzen the weapon that we are going to create. Yes, it will be obvious that Hiruzen will think that he is under control, but the real ones would be us. Konoha, in the long run, is our priority. To make sure it is on the top and secured. And to make sure that the same mistakes of the previous Jinchurikis doesn't happen, I will take extra precautionary measures. How? You do not need to know that. As both of them were shocked. What? But Danzo, we stood by you. We even sided with you. I know what you did, Koharu. Homura. And I want you to trust me. Because the process is quite gruesome. The child will be experimented on. Tested. His immunity, his strength, his reflexes, everything has to be increased. That is why he will endure a lot of pain until he goes numb. He will only know how to obey and how to listen to our commands. Nothing else to it. And so they both agreed and let Danzo handle this. Time began to pass by as now we see it was only a month later that Danzo was able to get in touch with him and he has agreed to meet. It was, after all, in the Forest of Death, the only place where even the shinobis didn't linger. It was in the middle of the night as Danzo stood at the rendezvous point, and he appeared, glowing golden eyes, as Orochimaru stood there. Why have you called me here? Danzo. I have called you here for only one thing and one thing alone. To quench your thirst, I have gotten you the perfect specimen for your testing, but in return, I want him to be trained and prepared. Prepare for what? To become the guard of Konoha, the protector of it, and he will obey to us. So an attack dog of a sort. Think of it as much as you want. But that is what I want. It will be done. He is an Uzumaki, by the way. As Orochimaru's eyes gleamed. Ah, finally. A live one. It will be great. How much time do you think it would take? Years, maybe. I can't tell, because I have to study him in detail. I will do a lot of experimentations to make sure that he is a perfect weapon for you, Danzo. But do not forget your end of the bargain. Of course not. You will be given the Edo Tensei technique as well as the Shadow Clone technique. I still do not know why you want these two, but you will be given those. You will find out once you see why I needed those techniques. And so, Orochimaru's second demand came in. I want the Uchiha blood samples, Hashirama cells, and even the samples from the other clans. It will be done. But the child, it will be tested on him. Made compatible to him. Don't you not want that, Danzo? A perfect weapon, overpowering each and every clan, obeying only to you. You're right. It will be done. And so, Naruto was given to Orochimaru. And he was taken away. But Danzo-sama, said one of his guards, what are you going to tell Hiruzen? Simple. The child, he is in good hands with my men, somewhere far away from Konoha. As now we see the next morning inside the Hokage office. What? Said Hiruzen. But I thought you told me that everything will be handled here. It was, but my men picked up some signature. It could be the same masked person that was lingering here. Hiruzen. Danzo. What game are you playing? I'm not playing any game. You yourself told us that a man attacked Minato and Kushina when that attack happened. Yes. Minato claimed him itself. He's lingering here still. My men saw it. A shadow. Overwatching him. That is why I have moved my men and him away. But do not worry. When he is ready, he will be returned to us. Do you trust these men? Of course I do. Because if they betray, where would they run to? Said Danzo arrogantly. I hope you know what you're doing, Danzo. Yes, I know. Making a weapon for you. And for Konoha. To protect all of us. Yeah. A sacrifice necessary, as you said. Of course, Hiruzen. Of course. Well, on the other side, Danzo provided Orochimaru with all the blood samples that was collected by his men. And by the Hashirama cells. Even the cells of Mito Uzumaki. Now that everything is as I wanted, I will make sure that my plan comes to fruition. Danzo wants a weapon, he will get one, but not just something that he can control. I have a bone to pick with Konoha. Not only will I get what I need, but I will also end Konoha with this very weapon that they want. And so, now we have a time skip. A time skip of 10 years later. 10 years have passed and Naruto was with Orochimaru, experimented on, even treated as a weapon, not a human being. And he was pitted against dangerous shinobi, some of them even who had lost their minds and were like rabid animals. But even in the end, Naruto was able to survive, come on top, and now has grown cold. His eyes were blank as he sat inside a prison cell that was made for his contamination. And within it we see Naruto just seated there without sleeping, as he had dark circles under his eyes. And a lot of palish skin because he has never seen the sunlight out there. But what everyone forgot to realize that the Kyuubi no Yoko was still there. And he has felt pity for the child, something it hasn't done for anyone. As now we see, Kyuubi was trying to speak to the child. Oi, kid. Are you there? We need to talk. As from the shadows, Naruto, who didn't speak, appeared. As Naruto nodded. He could understand, but he couldn't speak because he was not allowed to speak. So, he never tried it. As Kurama then said, you have to get out of here, and fast. They're turning you into a monstrous weapon. Do you want to be that? As Naruto remained quiet, as Kurama felt so bad that he even tried to rip the part of a seal, summoning its parents and informing them of what happened. That is what has happened to him so far. Minato slumped down to the ground on his knees and hands, crying, as he even, if he could, would have barfed, as his guts were so much twisted, as Kushina was wailing like a mad woman as she hugged Naruto. It's for the first time Naruto felt something akin to love. They knew it was for a limited time, so they told their son to do whatever he seems fit, never listen to anyone. He was an Uzumaki and a proud one, and his own person. And Kyuubi, after both of them departed, told him the same thing. You're better than this, kid. I normally wouldn't have done this, but the way you have lived, even I felt disgusted. You're not an animal, you're a living being. Yet you're not given any right by the very own people that vowed to protect you. Not only you, but your parents have been betrayed as well. Look, I don't want you to have revenge or anything. All I ever want you to is live a safe life. Let's get out of here, kid. I know you can do it. You're strong. The testing, even though it was brutal, have given you enough strength that you would be able to escape. No, said Naruto in an almost whisper-like voice. What? No. What? Why? Why would you not go? As Naruto gritted his teeth. Revenge was the only thing he could say. As Kurama's eyes widened, as he saw there was a shine returning to the eyes of Naruto. As time passed, Naruto was now 12 years old, as he was pitted against 100 shinobis that were experimented on, as they all threw different jutsus that they have mastered on Naruto, only for his hands to extend as the palms glowed blue, absorbing each and every attack and turning it into a chakra. As suddenly Naruto eyes glowed with blue pulses as Naruto discharged a chakra pulse, sending a shockwave and causing cracks to appear on the surrounding ground as well as on the walls nearby. The chakra pulse was so strong that some people were clean cut in half, while the others, who were strong and were able to bear it, were coughing blood now on the ground. As Naruto, he then literally shattered the ground where he stood and disappeared in a blitz. What followed suit was Naruto's arm twisted as veins began to appear and his nails turned into a sharp blade-like, and he cleaved through one of the men. Until from his knuckles 3 claws appeared and he shoved it straight through a man and began to, like a wild animal, do it again and again and again until the man couldn't move. But a man was able to attack him, another one. He used an axe that he was holding and literally chopped off, or tried to do so, an arm of Naruto. It was deep sunk into his arm and skin, but when in contact with the bone, it got stuck. As Naruto literally yanked it off, as the arm itself alongside the wound healed. As Naruto's eyes then began to turn red, and from it 2 beams of red chakra shot out, piercing through the skull of a man. As Naruto literally exhaled a breath that was cold and icy, until he took a deep breath in and exhaled as a huge ice bomb was released, causing one of the men to freeze. After this devastating destruction, Naruto stood there, panting heavily. "Well done, Subject 001. Return to your holdings immediately." As Naruto began to move there. "What do you think, Kabuto? He's presentable, isn't he?" "Of course he is, Orochimaru. He is your magnum opus. A weapon so strong that he is literally even giving me chills." Konoha, after all, wanted a strong shinobi. I have given them that. All that there is left is to erase his memory and only instill one task and one task alone. Destruction of Konoha. As Naruto halted, as Orochimaru frowned, looking at it, Subject 001, step inside. As immediately Naruto disappeared, vanishing, as if he never existed there. And next thing, Kabuto let out a sharp breath. Naruto stood behind him, his arm turned into a huge blade. As Naruto looked at him, his eyes glowing red. Revenge. As Orochimaru's eyes widened, as next thing Naruto did was pierced his skull with those beams, killing him then and there alongside with Kabuto. After that, we see it was nighttime as Naruto walked out of the facility as explosions erupted everywhere. Naruto was wearing a cloak, a black one, while a black jacket he found underneath with orange pants and some shinobi sandals. His eyes were red as well still. Revenge, said Naruto before he disappeared. On the other side, back in Konoha, Danzo and Hiruzen and the other two, Koharu and Homura, were waiting with gleam that the final product of their wait was finally returning, the ultimate weapon for Konoha. But what they did not know was, a storm was brewing on the other side. A storm called Naruto Uzumaki that was heading towards them to eradicate them and Konoha. As Danzo, who was relaxing there, then said, "It's almost time. Soon, within a week or so, we will have our weapon. And once we do, everything will go according to our plan." "What do you mean by that, Danzo?" "What, Hiruzen? Our weapon? You said that only the child will listen to me." "Oh, of course he will. By our, I meant Konoha's. Of course." As Danzo shook his head, "You worry too much, Hiruzen. Seriously." "Yes. That I do, I believe." "Well, anyways, let's hope that this project of yours doesn't fail and cost us." And that is when huge explosions erupted on the outer skirts of Konoha. As there, immediately Hiruzen, Danzo, and the others arrived with shinobis and hanbos until they saw a blonde-haired kid, 12 years old at least, standing there with a black cloak and his eyes glowing red. Revenge was the only thing he said as something happened. The cloak teared apart from back as another Naruto was coming out from there, but that Naruto, he was covered in the Kyuubi's chakra as 9 tails one by one immediately began to appear. And lo and behold, Kyuubi has emerged as Naruto slumped down to the ground as if he was dead. But that is when his, healing instincts that has been maximized to the point that it was observed begin to heal. As Naruto stood up again, as gruesomely his bones realigned, his spines reconnected, and then his whole wound that has teared itself apart from behind repaired, not a single drop of blood. As Kyuubi stood besides him, Naruto. Hello there, Hiruzen. Konoha, spoke the Kyuubi. You tried to turn this child into a weapon. You tried to end me. Now there's no Minato here to protect. If anything, he despises what he has done. Go on, kid. As Naruto went and arrived in front of the graveyard, revive them all. As Naruto, eyes which were red then morphed into Sharingan. As his eyes began to spin so fast, they began to bleed until they turned from the Sharingan into Mangekyo, and from Mangekyo into ripples. As Rinnegan emerged, Sage Arts, Rinne Rebirth, yelled out Naruto, as his throat was hoarse and was painful when he spoke. As from the earth, as it shook, rose a huge statue, its mouth opened, and each and every grave soul was returned. As it disappeared, amongst those who have died stood 2, his parents, but not they were the only ones who have revived. Mito Uzumaki herself, Hashirama Senju, even Tobirama Senju, the previous ancestors have revived as well because of the absurdity of the power of Naruto due to the experimentation. As Naruto was on the ground, his instincts kicking in for recovery, and he was healing, and healing fast. As now we see, Minato and Kushina dashed towards the child. Realizing that the 9th tile was there, this has to be Naruto. His eyes returning back from the Rinnegan to the blue eyes. Mother, father, as Naruto was relaxing for a bit, as Kyuubi was joined by Minato and Kushina. As the others stood there, Kushina, what is the meaning of this? Why don't you ask your people that? Why don't you ask your student that, Tobirama? What do you mean by that? Girl, these men have weaponized my son, our only surviving hope, Kushina said, looking towards Mito. As Mito gasped, Monkey, is this the truth? We did what we had to do. As before he could finish, Minato disappeared and appeared in front of him, punched him across the face. I trusted you, you son of a bitch! As Minato was punching him again and again gruesomely until it was Asuma pushed him back. Back off! Minato. He deserves it. You all do. As Naruto then got up, as Mito then asked, what do you want, child? Mito? What are you doing? I stood by your side, Hashirama. I trusted you and your people. Every one of them. And this is how they repay the favors of the Uzumakis and us? No. To hell with that. You all will pay. If this is what our legacy has come to, brother, then I suppose sister is right. The Senjus and Uzumakis did not lay down their lives for this future. And I am extremely disappointed in these 3 disappointments over there. And so, after being denounced by their sensei, seeing this humiliation, Danzo had had enough. Why? We wanted betterment for Konoha. We did what was necessary. Today's elemental nation is different from the previous world one that you all lived in. You couldn't understand. Is that so? Said another voice as there appeared Madara Uchiha himself. And that was the shocking news. How? How is this possible? I was buried nearby. as per the request of mine. But I left you at the... I never died there, Hashirama. Even you know that. I was able to live in exile. But seeing what Konoha has become, you must agree that I was right. As Hashirama agreed. Then let's finish it. You and me. No, said Naruto. I will. As he then began to gather chakra, as his eyes glowed, he released a chakra pulse. The civilians immediately surrounded there. Those who have been revived alongside those who still lived all perished because of the chakra pulse intensity. As Naruto went to his knees, panting heavily because of the exhaustion, he stood up again. From his knuckles, claws extended. As Naruto attacked like a wild animal. The shinobis charged at him, stabbed him, tried to kill him, but nothing. To no avail. Naruto was on a mission. Eradication of Konoha. Even Hiruzen tried to use his attacks, but in the end, Naruto's wounds healed faster than they could cast a jutsu. And he was absorbing their chakra one after the other as well, until he used his red eyes and literally with the beams he killed many of the shinobis, cleaving them in half, as Minato, Kushina, alongside the others watched. How about I repay the favor and finish what I started, as they say. And so, Kyuubi jumped in, helping out Naruto, while the others watched in awe who stood there by their side. As that is when they noticed, Minato did, that Hiruzen was about to kill Naruto, only for Minato to arrive from behind and literally stab his strap-wronged kunai into the neck from backside of Hiruzen. You think I would let you kill my son after what you have done, you son of a bitch? As literally after Minato yanked his kunai, his neck fell apart from his body, as Minato stood there with cold blue eyes. Asuma tried to charge, but only for his eyes to be literally cleaved off by Kushina. She stabbed 2 Uzumaki chains in them, ripping his skull open. Koharu and Homura tried to escape, but they too were captured and brutally killed. In the end, it was Danzo and his troop, but they too fell one by one until Danzo was the only one left. And he was brutally killed. Killed by his own sensei, Minato, Kushina, and in the end, Naruto. And once it was settled and done, Naruto looked towards the Kyuubi. Thank you. As Kyuubi nodded. No, kid. I should be thanking you. Your son is strong, Kushina. You all are. Hopefully able to stick by him now. And do good. Yes. Thank you, Kyuubi-san. Kurama. What? My name is Kurama. There's still threat out there. People won't stop coming for you after they find out. Then let them come, said Minato. We will protect our son this time. Make sure you do. As Kyuubi walked away, leaving the family alone. But the threats, they knew they weren't over yet. Because the Akatsuki was still out there in the shadows and Madara was revived and was with them. He could betray them at any time, because he has done the same in the past. But what they did not know was that how both threats were connected to one another. As this is where I'm going to be leaving the story of, guys, for the time being. I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel. As this is it for the day. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.